Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is I am redeemed. Recovery. Yeah. The influence of substance abuse in the lives of Miss Tawana Murray. And of course we have Miss Tawana Murray to talk about I am recovery. And getting away from substance and drug abuse. And Miss Murray, let me tell you how delighted we are to have you here, because I think that the topic that we're talking about has quite a bit to do with what is going on in society today. And what we want you to do is to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of your experiences, and then we'll get into your recovery. Let's talk about it from that perspective.
Okay. My name is Tawana Murray. I'm from Shelbyville, Tennessee, and I grew up there as a child. At the age of 18, I moved out of town to go do some modeling. But during school, I did all the academics, cheerleading, homecoming, basketball, and all those things. By that time, I found out that I had done it all. So I was searching for something else. So I made a wrong turn to the other side of town where drug abuse was present. And then about a month later, I realized that that wasn't the life I wanted. But I already had addictive behavior. So I got into that struggle, and I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, to a treatment center to try and pursue a way out of it. And I would go up and back down, up and down. And finally, I realized that it was real, that it wasn't something that I could fight on myself. So I had to begin searching for a way out, and that became going to being in treatment. But I realized also that treatment it was just a holding cell for me to get instructions, and I had to find out how to live life on life's terms, and that is from the absence of drugs itself. Yes.
And so in a real sense, you met drug abuse at 18 years of age?
At 18 years of age, I tried it. And yes, sir. And I left there, and then it became a recreational thing. You just did it on recreations. Then it became using when you were happy, when you were sad, when you were mad, when you were glad. So I stopped, and then at the age of 26, it became just a little bit more familiar. And I battled it for 26, and then I moved here I moved to a treatment center here in Nashville, and I got some education information on it, but I didn't follow through with it. That was just it. I didn't do everything that I needed to do.
Well, you know, when you talk about your introduction to drugs and substance abuse, did you meet drugs and substance abuse the same way that most people generally? Why don't you give us some ideas in terms of how young people generally become involved in dealing with drugs and some of the reasons for their involvement?
As I say, it was me and some of my friends. How it began with us is it was just recreational. We were just out, and we decided we went out of town somewhere, and it was present. So we all tried it, and we managed to maintain that day. But at the same time, everybody's behavior is not the same. So I had addictive behavior in that situation. So I mean, I fought to get out of it. And I could say I would use, and I would, and I would, and I would, and I would, and I would. And I knew then that it was a force that was beyond something that I could control. And then after the first time that I went to treatment, when I came back out and I fell again, my thought was, this is this way my life is going to be, because I wasn't educated on it until I went and found what the circumstances are, how your brain level works, and all the things that go into it. But it's easy to fall into because it was like doing what my peers done, and that's how a lot of people fall into substance abuse, is by your peers. Family members sometimes will just say, here you go. Like some of them say, well, here, go like this for me. You go light it, and then you're addicted to it. It becomes in your system, and that's a craving that you desire to have.
Would it be something comparable to tobacco addiction or anything like that? It's much stronger than tobacco addiction to deal with drugs.
No, I would say tobacco addiction is an addiction too. As I say, that's why I say I am recovering from a lot of things. Tobacco is too, but the thing for the drugs, it enters into your mind, it alters your mind. And when your mind is altered, it seems like there's no fight. So you have to do what it does to have abstinence from that.
And so from what I understand, you've got a program. You've been working for the longest in terms of creating a program of study in a real sense to deal with individuals who happen to have had the same situation that you're now faced with. And so what we're going to do, we're going to take our first commercial break. And then we're going to come back and we're going to devote the next 8 minutes to you talking about the program that you have and how you think that this program might be able to help other individuals who might find themselves in the same situation that you're in, and even if it's the kind of program you think that it can be more widely used.
Yes, sir.
You see, this is what we